Afternoon, everybody. Go ahead.
Dave, the PK has been on quite a roll of late. What do you think, from your perspective, has been key to that?
There's no big change, guys. We've worked hard together. Little things add up to to good numbers and good results on the PK. And I sat here and talked to you about that about 10 days ago when it wasn't going well. We just had to get back to some of the basics and and really make sure that we're working together and on the same page in those details. So you get on stretches where things where things aren't going your way, and you can go one of two ways. You can either dig in and really become determined within the system that we're working within and push it the right way, or you can go the other way. And I give our guys a lot of credit. They've dug in, worked extremely hard, and we have to continue doing so.
Go ahead. How much of the DD return helped with that PK? It seemed like it kind of coincided with them coming back.
That's a part of it. I mean, he's a part of the PK. That first face-off is important. Now, we haven't been on his side to start, on a regular basis during this stretch. So everybody that's a part of the PK is important. So to get him back was, like I said, he's an important player up front on the PK. It allows your pairs to come back together, to some pairs that have had success together. I think the bigger change that we made there is we added 2 more forwards to the PK. Coming out of the tough stretch, we added in a rotation for Beniers and McCann, and those 2 have done their part. They've done their small piece.
What was your thought process of adding those 2 in particular to that rotation?
Pace, energy. We got a little bit more aggressive in the way we were killing. We opened it up a little bit up ice with the aggressiveness. So you have to have pace and energy to do that. McCann's killed in the past. Matty was killing before that. He was killing a little bit each PK with Schwartzy, but that was an adjustment that a good adjustment that Dave made to that group.
We haven't seen him in a game yet. What have your thoughts been on Tolvanen so far in the practice?
It's limited. I don't want to judge a player under practice. I've been really impressed with him as a young man. His skill set is good, no question. Today was his first day. It was nice to be able to get him into a full rotation. We had 4 even lines today, so he got a full day's work of 50-55 minutes out there. So it was a really good day for him. That should be a valuable day for him, just with the pieces of systems work that were mixed into today's practice. So all really encouraging.
What have you thought about Gustav Olsson's game as he's filled in here in these last few games?
Well, Goose he's a good veteran pro, right? He's got an understanding of who he is and how he's most effective, and that lends a confidence to him. So he's gone in and he's been a solid player for us. That's not easy jumping in when you lose 2 top 4 defensemen at once, and 2 guys have to jump in and fill those minutes. Obviously, a couple of the other guys are picking up some of those minutes, but those guys had to jump in and play against when you're on the road against especially the last 2 teams that we played against. I mean, you're playing against Tampa Bay that's I think they're 8-2 in their last 10. I think Carolina is, I don't know if they've lost, and I think they're 7-0-1 in their last 8. Like, you're playing against not only good teams, but good teams that are playing well. So that puts both of our, not young guys, but both Goose and Fleurs under the gun and under pressure, and both of those guys reacted pretty well.
Jordan Emberley said if you told him that he'd be 6 games above 500 at this point before the season, he takes that deal every time. Do you feel similarly?
Yeah, I don't know if I look at it that way. I agree with him. We're in a really good spot. When you look at the spot that we sit within the division. We had one run where everything went right. And you got to take those. You got to put those points in the bank. And then you got to cut runs like this that where things aren't going all that well. You got to cut those. You got to cut those off, cut them short, and just get back into the fight. So we were able to do that in Florida. We were not able to find points in 2 tough buildings on the road. Now we have an opportunity here. Just as Eb said, we're in a good spot. Now, let's have a short-term focus here. That's 3 games here before the Christmas break. Let's finish well. Let's really feel good about what we're doing, and go into a short Christmas break in a good spot.
What would you say to just the general Seattle sports fan who maybe doesn't follow the Kraken every day, to explain why you guys are so much better this year than you were last year? What would you point to?
Oh, there's so many pieces. The quality of people in that room, and the trust and belief that our group inside of the dressing room are building together, and the connection of that with our fans is, for me, is one of the greatest reasons.
Dave, being back home, what does having home ice now work to get this team back on track consistently here?
Well, just I talked about some of the connection between our group and this building and our fans. That's important. I got to be honest with you. We're not that much of a matchup team, so it's not really about that. We're better when we're rolling and everybody is going, and we're going at a high pace. So part of it will be that last change, but it really isn't about that. We've played hard at home. We've had some really good wins here. We want to come home and play well. We're playing against a team that tied a game up on us and beat us in overtime. So we want to get back at it here tomorrow night.
How much do you find the consistency of coming out fast with the good start in the first period to equating to success in that area?
Playing from behind is hard. That's reality, just statistically. So, it's more than just giving up the first goal. It's hard. It's a hard league to play from behind in, whether you're looking up in the standings and trying to play catch up, or you're trying to play catch up after the first 10 minutes. Neither of those formulas are ideal.
You sink to last in the league in face-off percentage. What do you do about that, if anything?
Sorry.
32nd in the league in face-off percentage. What do you do about that, if anything?
Yeah, just keep working at it. Yeah, well, there's, that's an area that we knew that we were going to have to grow in throughout the year. So that's it's an individual stat, but it's much more than that. That's it's a team stat that we all have to really take note of. It's an area that we've had some nights where we feel we've made really good progress. We've had other nights where we've slipped back. So stay focused on it. Continue having our individual centermen work at their craft and their approach and their detail in the face-off dot. And then just make sure that everybody around that centerman also knows their job and is doing a little bit better. I think for me, throw out the percentages. The area that I would like to see our group improve upon is the execution after the face-off, whether it's a win or a loss. The execution with the puck, the bumps that are necessary to allow execution, or jumping and tracking that puck on a face-off loss. So there's a lot of different elements that we can continue to grow in.
And Dave, that Geeky Sprong Tanev combination, it feels like they find a way to impact the game and limited opportunities every night. When a so-called fourth line is clicking like that and producing like that for you, how does that help the rest of the lineup?
Well, for our success, it's critical. And you look at when we've been successful, we've had contributions from each and every one of our lines. The roles are a little bit different. The minutes are different. If you look at the underlying numbers, on both Sprong and Geeky in terms of points produced, and in terms of the minutes that they're playing, they're in the upper portion of the league. So the combination of those, that three did some good things the other night in Carolina. I don't look at it. I mean, you got to list your lines some way. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and everybody puts a label on everything. But those guys will be very, very important to our success tomorrow night.
Do you expect to have an option between Grubauer and Jones tomorrow?
Yes.
And any update on Jonas Donskoy?
I don't. No change in his status at this time.
Scott Service, Mariners manager, talks a lot about Julio Rodriguez and how he has this effect on the team that goes beyond what he does between the lines. Youthful energy that rubs off on people, keeps people hyped, makes them play better. Is there any similarity there with what Matty does? Do you see any parallels?
Yeah, I don't know if I want to make a direct comparison, but guys that love the game, work at the game, show up and work hard every day, have an ability to do it with a smile on their face. You know, I don't know. Wouldn't doubt that's him in the background right there. Maybe I don't know. I don't know if that was set up or not, but yeah, absolutely. I mean, hey, you know what? Show up, have fun, work your ass off. Right? That's to put it, you know, lightly. I mean, those are the kind of teammates that guys know they can rely on you when push comes to shove, when the game is on the line, and you're a good guy and a fun guy to be around. That brings a ton of energy to a group.
How much are you fan of 5 p.m. games on Sundays?
I'm not the biggest fan of 5 o'clock. It's halfway in between. But we've played well in those 5 o'clock games. So you take what you get in terms of the schedule. I think it's a great time for our fans, which is really important to me and to our group. We have to just adjust your routine a little bit and be ready to play. That's especially as you go into the second half. You see all kinds of different start times and schedules, things like that. So. You're just ready to go. Whatever the schedule says, whatever the puck drop is, the most important thing is to be ready to start on time.
All set, guys? Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
Can I get for just one more about Wolfson?
Yeah.
He's
Is it a hard one?
Huh?
Is it a hard one?
He's just had a kind of a hard road with injuries and things like
Yeah.
that. Just wondering what it says about him as a person. He's able to work his way back here.
Yeah, he's had a tough road injury-wise, and then even. And we came here last year, right, kind of coming off of some of that. His training camp, he didn't get an exhibition game. He went down, fairly early in camp, but it didn't shake or rattle him. He went down there and he had a great year. He was a leader down there, one of their best players all the way throughout the year. So I think that speaks to the character and the drive and, as much as anything, the maturity that he's gained, and maybe I missed that when I talked about it earlier, but that's one of the real strengths that he has. He has a maturity to him that he's really comfortable with who he is and what he is as a player, and that allows him, to bring that on a daily basis. So those are important experiences and probably hard experiences that he's gone through. Some it probably. Can break down and crush. For him, it seems like it's just, it's made him into, a stronger person and player, and that's a real positive and a real credit to him.
Awesome. Thank you. We
Okay.
appreciate it.
Yep.